You want to know what transnational repression is when it comes to elections? Disqualifying candidates. That's transnational repression. We've seen what they did in Romania to Kale and Georgescu. It's absolutely beyond the pale what they've done to Marine Le Pen. Pull up the video first, and I'll play this. It's a longer video from the Post-Millennial. They do great work.
Marine Le Pen, we're focusing on her, not all of the other elected officials of the National Rally, but Marine Le Pen was first convicted, then we waited for the actual sentence, the ineligibility part of it, which means she will not be able to run, and if it will be effective immediately, well, just
of course.
a couple of minutes ago, the judge told the courtroom that yes, Marine Le Pen will not be able to run in the next election. She's ineligible from this moment, and she just left the courthouse. Marine Le Pen, there was a crowd of journalists running after her to try and get her impressions from this. And if we want to summarize the 2 hours where the judge explained their position and their various elements that came and went into account in that decision, she said that yes, she understands what the defense was saying, that there was likely to be an appeals case later, and that's if she's convicted completely now and it's effective immediately, this could tarnish and limit her chances in the appeals court. Also, the defense said that what the judge repeated today, that the defense says that the voters must decide, not the judges. The voters know what the party did, and they should decide.
Pause. The voters know what the party did? I can tell you this with what I think would be relative certainty. No, the voters probably don't know what Marine Le Pen did, because I don't think it's particularly clear what Marine Le Pen did. And you'll call me a self-hating whatever you want because I'm defending a far-right, anti-Semitic, xenophobic, Islamophobic extremist. Go fuck yourselves, anybody who says that. I'm so fed up with this bullshit. You expect me to either be stupid or be stupid and partisan. I don't think most people would know what Marine Le Pen did because it's not even clear. You have to hear this. She's accused, or she was actually now convicted, of embezzling European Parliament funds. And you got to appreciate this. 24 other co-defendants, we'll get to an article in a second, they found her guilty of misusing funds intended for EU parliamentary aids to pay staff who worked for her party in France between 2004 and 2016. I don't know what the statute of limitations are. They're accusing her of taking European parliamentary funds to pay her own staff. The scheme involved siphoning off approximately 2.9 million euros to 4.5 million euros in European taxpayer funds, which were deemed a violation of EU regulations. The court ruled that Le Pen was at the heart of this systemic fraud, though she was not found to have personally enriched herself. As a result, she was sentenced to a 4-year prison term. We'll get back to that. So she's accused of having used European parliamentary funds to pay her own staff, as opposed to, I don't know what the alternative would have been, between 2004 and 2016. And when did she face these charges and this conviction? When she was on the verge of, or actually in the process of, smashing political populist success in Europe, in France. Let's get back to this video, and we're going to hear the insane Kafkaesque, why did they give her such a hard penalty? Because she refused to admit wrongdoing. Admit your guilt, you're guilty. Banned for life. Deny that you're guilty, assert your innocence. Well, if you're Alex Jones and you do that, they lock you up for contempt of court because you're precluded from asserting your own innocence. If you're Donald Trump, you are precluded from asserting your own innocence. Understand what they're doing here. Everything that they did to Donald Trump, and but for the grace of God, and I mean that literally, not using the Lord's name in vain, and but for the will of the American people, you'd be looking at Kami Kamala in America imposing this type of, we will never let a populist candidate win again. Democracy means we get to choose. Listen to this.
But in the end, the court decided that what matters is the national consensus, they said, and they believe that what played against Marine Le Pen was her defense system. She never recognized doing anything wrong, and they said that's the problem.
She never recognized doing anything wrong, and that's the problem. I love Big Brother. 2 + 2 = 5. Admit that what you did was wrong, even if you don't think it was. Even if you have some professional reliance defense that you didn't think it was when you did it. And if you don't admit that you're guilty, that makes you even guiltier. Admit that you're guilty, you're guilty. Deny that you're guilty, you're guiltier.
If she had recognized that using European funds for the party here in France was wrong, well, they would have considered that she would not repeat any kind of offenses. But they said that elected officials have rights, of course, but they should be models. They should be exemplary for everyone. And now we're waiting for her decision. You saw her running off.
But by the way, and this is why I respectfully disagree with Barnes when he doesn't have any interest in whether or not, what's her name? Brigitte Macron is a man. Tabarnouche. He has no interest in it. I believe that it's of national, international importance because I believe that it would, if true, and it's a big fat if true, it would represent the institutionalizing and political protection and media protection of pedophilia, because you will remember that Brigitte Macron, man or woman, engaged in, by all accounts, sexual activity with a kid who was 15, below the age of consent in France at the time, which is why the French media has to say, oh, he was 16, when they had this wonderful love affair between a 34-year-old teacher. Man or woman, there's some pedophilia shit going on in that story. If it's true, and it's why the media had to cover it up and make him 16 when he was actually 15. But if it's a man, it's even worse, and it represents institutional political cover-ups in France. So when they talk about French politicians having to be role models, well, then it becomes even more relevant. Listen to this.
I imagine she will react. Before the decision, one of the party's number two, Louis Alliot, said that this will not harm the party. It's not a question of a person, but of a party. And he says that the National Rally will remain popular. It's the party that got the most votes. And Marine Le Pen, according to polls, if a vote was organized today, she would have more votes than any other of the candidates.
No shit.
Given what you say there, Shirley, about the fact that she refused to admit any guilt during the trial, and that counted against her in the sentence, and that's why that ineligibility sentence came forth. Is the mood now very pessimistic? Are they worried on the National Rally side that it's going to be an immediate ineligibility?
Well, they're not worried. It's going to be. Well, it is, by the way.
It is an immediate ineligibility. That's clear. The question is, what are they going to do now? Because this is, many of the party officials were here.
Immediate ineligibility for the woman and the party that would have gotten the most votes. Sound familiar? This is globalism. This is Mark Carney. This is the European Union that the Liberal Party wants to align further with. This is the same European party. Holy hell, people. Frickin' Mark Carney, first visit, goes to France. So, hey, Pierre, here's another free piece of advice. Milk this for the political profit that it's worth, or don't.
Were also sentenced alongside Marine Le Pen, not Jordan Bardella, the president of the party, but it's Marine Le Pen who's the real boss. She's the one who has voters' confidence, a lot of legitimacy. And so, yeah, the fact that
she's the one that has voter confidence, legitimacy, and that's why they've got to make the example of her. But they were going to do it regardless. They don't like her. She's a populist. She wants to undo failed immigration policy in France, which has turned into a steaming pile of shit. Take her out. Well, we can't take her out JFK style. This is modern era. So let's just take her out Alex Jones style. Let's take her out Donald Trump style, which they tried both on Donald Trump. Failed at both. Imagine, they tried to go JFK and Alex Jones on Donald Trump, and they failed at both, but for the grace of God.
She just left exactly after the sentence was read out. She didn't talk to the journalists here. Well, it shows that this is a bit of a shock to her. Many people say she never expected that the prosecution during the trial would ask for an immediate stripping of a right to run for the presidential election. That was a surprise to her. She thought it was unconstitutional.
It is.
Well, now the court said, no, it is constitutional, and this is our duty because we want to work for democracy. And if elected officials think they can just play with the rules, she said, bypass the democratic system, well, that's just not going to work. We can't allow that to happen. And also, they said that Marine Le Pen is not just anyone. She was at the heart of the system. She used her authority, and she convinced all the others to play along in that system. So they said, no, it is constitutional, and this is our duty because we want to work for democracy. And if elected officials think
we want to work for democracy, and if elected officials ... fill in the blanks, so we need to prevent them from getting elected. This is the absolute state of Europe. If you haven't seen this, I'll give everybody the link. But this is what they're doing. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, just to get the meat and the bones of what Marine Le Pen was accused of and where this is at. Look at this. This is from DW, which is not Daily Wire, people. It's Die Deutsche Welle. It's some German outlet. So I like to go closer to the source. Le Pen defiant after being barred from office. What did they do in Brazil? I forget what. Oh yeah, that's right. Bolsonaro. They tried to kill him and jail him. Brazil, France, Romania. The European Union is the European Soviet Union. Sorry, I actually borrowed that from Mark Grobert, Lord Buckley on Twitter. I would have come up with it myself, Mark, but damn it, I saw your tweet. The European Soviet Union. And this is who globalist whore Mark Carney wants to ally with. Maybe he deserves to be called out on this as well. So call him out on transgender ideology, men and women's sports, boys and girls locker rooms. Call him out on supporting fascism and tyranny in France or don't. Marine Le Pen has been banned from running for office for 5 years and given a prison sentence after being convicted of misappropriating EU funds. But the French far-right leader remains defiant and intends to appeal. Oh, she'll appeal. It's Marine Le Pen. Sorry, I keep saying Marie Le Pen. French far-right leader Le Pen barred from politics in embezzlement verdict. The sentence means Le Pen, the guiding force of the National Rally Party, cannot run in the 2027 presidential election unless she successfully appeals. French court convicted far-right leader Marine Le Pen. I gotta keep throwing it out there. It means nothing. It means nothing when you have the likes of me supporting far-right Marine Le Pen. And I'm supporting her because whether or not I agree with all of her policies, this is bullshit. This is not democracy. This is fascism, statism, tyranny, whatever you want to call it. Probably closer to communism. Yada, yada, yada. A stunning decision that could upend the 27 presidential election. Oh my God. It's almost like it's an unforeseen consequence. The guiding force, the verdict came towards an end of an hours-long hearing in which a judge read out a sentence for 20 others who served as European lawmakers or parliamentary assistants for the National Rally. Prosecutors claimed the party misused European Union funds. Le Pen, who was in court for the start of the hearing, left before the full sentence was read. Political tsunami. In an evening interview with TF1, a French television station, Le Pen said that she would not withdraw from political life because a political decision by the courts. Let's be clear, I've been eliminated, the National Rally leader said. But in reality, there are millions of French people whose voices have been eliminated. I just want you to read the punishment. It's absolute insanity. I'm going to appeal. Prosecutors alleged the money in question was used to pay party staff between 2004 to violating European Union rules. The ban will last for 5 years as demanded by prosecutors. She's also been handed a 4-year prison term with 2 years as a suspended sentence and 2 to be served under house arrest with an electronic tag. You literally have criminals running rampant in the streets of France. You literally have a country that is on fire. What I call a burning shithole. I was there. I lived there in 1999 to 2000. It was bad then. I went back for a marathon in 2015. It was exponentially worse. It felt like you could cut the tensions with a knife. Paris has always been disgusting and filthy, but was even more disgusting and filthy than it's ever been. Put Marine Le Pen on a dog tag and lock her at home for 2 years because apparently she broke EU rules in terms of how she remunerated her staff for 12 years. This is the globalist war on populism throughout Europe, throughout the world. And if you don't understand that and you don't capitalize off that, Pierre Poilievre, you are running to lose.